Hello viewers, Mike here, and I'm just cleaning this block up and I'm going to make the body of my carriage stop. And I'll show you a little bit different method of squaring a block up. This is a good method when you have a large surface area on two parallel sides and much thinner edges. This is 2-inch thick hot rolled steel and the dimension calls for 1-inch 930. So there's not much to come off of here, but I'll take half off this top side and then I'll flip it over and bring it right into dimension. And I wanted to mention on my last video that I had stated that a couple of the really good carriage stops were made by a couple of YouTubers, and one of them I had stated as Chris 357, and I apologize to Chris, and actually his handle is Chris B 257. That's Chris B 257. Does great videos. You might want to check them out. First, I'll clamp it in the vise and see if it'll seat down. When you're seating your workpiece down in the vise, it's important to check your parallels and make sure that they're tight. That way you know that your piece is going to end up parallel. In this case, I'm not going to be able to get it tight because I'm clamping on two rough surfaces. So now I'll shim it with paper and that'll bring it right in and to where it'll lay right flat down on the parallels. The back parallel was loose, so I put the paper shim in the front. The paper is only inserted about 1/8 of an inch deep. And once we're done, we tear the paper off and get it out of the way. And now we begin to machine our first edge. A power feed would be nice, just saying. And so the first edge is finished, now onto the second edge. Now we won't need a parallel for this next step because we'll use our trusty square to square the second edge up to the first edge. Now we put it in the vise to where the jaws just support the piece, but it's loose enough to be able to rotate it. And once I face this surface square, I'll flip it around and put it on parallels and bring the other two sides into dimension. I've laid the shape out in my block, and I'm using the saw now to get rid of as much extra material as I can. Incidentally, I'm using my 20-year-old Chinese saw, and they're easy to adjust, and I think they do a good job. Notice the nice perpendicular cut. Also, I use Harbor Freight bandsaw blades, and they hold up good for me. I go through about two a year, and I do a fair amount of cutting.